These numbers behind Michael Jackson's death tell an incredible story. A financial disaster that transformed into the greatest posthumous earning phenomenon in entertainment history. When the king of pop died on June 25, 2009, he carried a crushing $500 million debt. Today, the Michael Jackson estate has generated over $3.05 billion, crowning him the most financially successful deceased celebrity ever. The irony cuts deep. Michael Jackson spent his final years drowning in debt, watching his lavish lifestyle crumble around him. Yet he's earned more money dead than most artists could dream of making alive. His estate pulled in $105 million in 2024 alone, which marked the third consecutive year he topped Forbes' list of highest-earning dead celebrities. But how does a dead man generate money through mechanical royalties, performance royalties, and catalog ownership? And how did two estate executors transform $500 million of debt into a multi-billion-dollar empire? Understanding Jackson's transformation starts with grasping just how desperate his financial situation had become. His Neverland Ranch devoured $10 million annually just for maintenance. His lifestyle burned through $50 million every year. Diamond-encrusted gloves, exotic animals, antique shopping sprees, and endless remodeling projects had consumed a $380 million loan from Bank of America. By 2009, Jackson was bleeding money faster than even his massive catalog could generate revenue. The ongoing IRS estate tax dispute over valuations would later reveal just how complex his financial situation had become. Death changed everything. Within hours of the news breaking, Michael Jackson's music exploded across digital platforms. He became the first artist ever to sell 1 million downloads in a single week, moving 2.6 million songs in 7 days. During the year following his death, his album sold 35 million copies worldwide, more than any other artist in 2009. Jackson sold 13.2 million albums in the 5 years after his death, compared to just 3.9 million in the 5 years before it. This surge wasn't just nostalgia. The market finally recognized the true value of Jackson's catalog without the baggage of his personal controversies. Two men proved instrumental in capitalizing on this moment. Attorneys John Branca and A&R executive John McClane, the estate's co-executors. Branca, whom Jackson once called the greatest lawyer of our time, had represented everyone from the Rolling Stones to Dr. Dre. His first move secured the hundreds of hours of rehearsal footage from Jackson's planned This Is It concert series. Sony paid $60 million for the film rights, and the resulting documentary became the highest-grossing concert film in history, earning $267.09 million worldwide. Jackson's estate received 90% of the profits. The real goldmine lay in Jackson's music publishing assets, including his personal company MyJack Music and his crown jewel, the ATV catalog. Back in 1985, Jackson had made one of the shrewdest business moves in entertainment history, purchasing the ATV catalog for $47.05 million. This catalog contained nearly every Beatles song written by Lennon and McCartney through Northern Songs, plus 4,000 other compositions. The acquisition famously strained Jackson's relationship with Paul McCartney, who had actually taught Jackson about music publishing during their collaboration in the early 1980s. McCartney had shown Jackson his own publishing catalog over dinner, explaining how owning songs could be more valuable than performing them. Jackson took notes. When ATV went up for sale, McCartney's team decided it was too pricey. Jackson didn't hesitate. Years later, when McCartney asked about getting his songs back, Jackson reportedly told him the price would be $40 billion. In 1995, facing financial pressure, Jackson sold half of ATV to Sony, creating Sony/ATV Music Publishing. This joint venture became the foundation of his posthumous wealth. In 2016, Sony bought out the Jackson estate's remaining 50% stake for $750 million, the single largest payday in the estate's history. That deal alone generated $825 million for the estate in 2016, Jackson's highest-earning year. Branca and McClane weren't finished. They understood that Jackson's brand extended far beyond his music catalog. In 2010, they negotiated a $250 million distribution deal with Sony Music, the most expensive single artist contract in music history at the time. The agreement covered 10 albums of unreleased material and new compilations. The estate also benefited from Jackson's stake in EMI Music Publishing, which generated additional millions when that catalog was sold. Then came the theatrical ventures. The estate partnered with Cirque du Soleil for Michael Jackson The Immortal World Tour, which launched in 2011. The show became Cirque's most financially successful production ever, grossing $371 million during its run. They followed this with Michael Jackson 1, a permanent Las Vegas show that's been extended through 2030. In 2022, MJ the Musical opened on Broadway to massive commercial success. The production has grossed over $319 million, with more than 2.2 million attendees. Ticket sales average over $1 million per week, and the show consistently ranks among Broadway's top 5 highest-grossing productions. The estate's most recent major deal proves that Jackson's earning potential shows no signs of slowing. In 2024, Sony purchased a 50% stake in Jackson's recorded music and songwriting catalogs for $600 million, valuing his total assets at over $1.02 billion. This deal covers not just Jackson's hits like Beat It and Bad, but also his publishing assets including songs by Sly Stone, Ray Charles, and Jerry Lee Lewis. What makes Jackson's posthumous success so remarkable isn't just the numbers, it's the strategic thinking behind them. The estate has carefully managed his legacy, avoiding oversaturation while maximizing revenue opportunities. They've licensed his music for films, commercials, and video games. They've created new content experiences like the Cirque shows and Broadway musical. They've sold catalog stakes at exactly the right moments to capitalize on market conditions. Even controversies have been turned into opportunities. When the 2019 documentary Leaving Neverland triggered a media backlash, it actually boosted Jackson's music sales. The estate successfully sued HBO over the film, eventually forcing the network to remove it from their streaming platform. This legal victory demonstrated their commitment to protecting Jackson's brand while generating additional revenue. The financial structure Jackson established in his will has been crucial to this success. He left 40% of his estate to his 3 children, 40% to support his mother Catherine during her lifetime, and 20% to children's charities. Upon Catherine's death, her 40% will transfer to the children, meaning they'll eventually control 80% of the estate. Catherine has already received approximately $55 million from the estate. Looking ahead, the estate shows no signs of slowing down. A major biopic titled Michael, starring Jackson's nephew Jafar Jackson, is scheduled for release in April 2026. The trailer alone broke records, garnering 116.2 million views in its first 24 hours, more than any musical biopic or concert film trailer in history. Industry sources suggest a sequel is already in development. The numbers speak to Jackson's unprecedented posthumous earning power. As one estate lawyer told Forbes, "When it comes to estate earnings, it's MJ, then an enormous canyon, then everybody else." He's been the highest earning deceased musician for 13 consecutive years, and the top earning dead celebrity for 3 straight years. The most telling assessment came from an industry insider who noted, "Ironically, dying was probably the best thing that ever happened to Michael's finances." It's a harsh observation, but the math doesn't lie. Jackson's estate has generated more revenue in 15 years than he earned during his entire living career. The Michael Jackson estate represents the gold standard for posthumous celebrity management. It proves that with the right assets, strategic thinking, and expert execution, death doesn't have to mean the end of earning potential. For Jackson, it marked the beginning of his most profitable era, transforming the king of pop from a debt-ridden recluse into the undisputed champion of posthumous celebrity earnings. Today, Jackson's 3 children stand to inherit a fortune that will sustain generations of their family. It's a financial resurrection story that seems almost too incredible to believe, except for one simple fact: the numbers are all real, and they're still growing.